Hello, time for a new game. Just wanted to show you a Reddit post I found today. It's someone who has made statistics here about Magnus Carlsen's score against his contemporaries. And the way you should read this list is that these guys here are the ones that has the best score against Magnus in classical chess, and this one is the one with the worst. So we can see here that my favorite commentator, Peter Svidler, has a fine score. He's doing 2-2 against Magnus. I don't think Magnus obviously has no opponent that has a better score than him in classic, of course. But the one with the best score against him is Svidler, 2-2 and 15 draws, and Lekku 3-3 and 15 draws. Kramnik also, we have seen a lot of Kramnik games. Magnus has the lead 6-5 with 16 draws. Kamsky also has a good score, 3-2 with 6 draws. And Magnus' big rival, Nepomniachtchi, who is played in the World Championship match. Magnus has 6 wins to 4 losses and 15 draws. And current world champion here has actually never beaten Magnus Carlsen. Ding Liren, the current world champion, has never won against Carlsen. So it would have, if Magnus still played and defended his title against Ding, it's hard to predict, but I'm just gonna guess that Magnus would have defeated Ding Liren and keep the world championship match. We will never know, but that is my guess, because Liren has not been able to defeat him in even when he got 12 tries and never managed to defeat him. Then there are some other players. Morosevich, we have some games he never defeated Magnus. And here is Anand, who Magnus played 2 world championship matches against. He defeated Anand to become world champion, and then he defended his world championship match. And it seems like because of that, Anand is Magnus' most played opponent here. With Magnus has 12 wins, 8 losses and 51 draws. Magnus also have a good score against Anish Giri. Let's see if there is something else noteworthy. And now we come to people that getting destroyed by Magnus. For example, Mamedyarov, 8-2 with 20 draws. Karyakin, who has also played a world championship match. That match was all draws, of course. But before the world championship match, Magnus had a good score here, 10-3. And he also have a good score against MVL, 9-2 with 20 draws. And also have a good score, actually very good score against Caruana. For most of the time when Carlsen was world champion, Caruana was the second highest rated player in the world. So it's 14-6 to Magnus with 39 draws. And Rajabov, also very good score for Magnus, 10-2 with 21 draws. Aronian, we have seen a lot of Aronian games, 18-8 for Magnus with 33 draws. Actually, that's also a lot of games. Both Caruana, all these players that are being in bold, they played a lot of games against Magnus. And of course, the second highest rated player in the world currently is Hikaru Nakamura, but he has just been getting destroyed by Magnus, 14-2 with 28 draws. And I'm not a noteworthy player, but Magnus defeated me twice, and I have 0 draws, and 0 wins against him, obviously, in classical games. So I thought it just shows a dominating, like Magnus is 14-1 against the second highest rated player in the world, Hikaru Nakamura. It just shows the complete dominance of Magnus. Magnus was so dominant, so Kasparov, they were having some training when Magnus was like 12 or 13 or something like that, and after that, after Magnus saw like how good after Kasparov saw how good Magnus was, I'm just retiring ring at once. Like I don't dare to play against him. So it's kind of like that. Okay, so let's go back to the games here. We have. Oh, I should add that game also. I didn't do it. No, it's just because I didn't update here. Next game is Carlsen against Gawain Jones in the London Chess Classics 2012. It was Gawain Jones actually made like a quick rise, because I played and won against him maybe 2007 maybe. I was like IM strength and he was also an IM then, I think. So I won quite easily against him. But then just a few years later, maybe 4 years later now, he's already like 2650 Grandmaster who's playing with Magnus in the biggest tournament in England, in London. So that's a very fast rise for Gawain Jones. Okay, so Magnus is white here, and I chose this game because Gawain Jones does something quite interesting here in this game, which I will show you. Let's also get some analysis going here. So Magnus plays a rare move. He plays Queen d4 here. Magnus, when he's playing weaker players, he likes to get out of tier and just get a game and just win a chess game and not risking getting into opening preparation struggles. So what's happening here is that he does Queen d4 instead of Knight d4. And Gawain Jones, he prepares a6, preparing to do Knight c6 here. And Magnus does h3, I don't really understand why. And g6, so what will happen is that they will go for, this is, when white plays c4, it's called the Marok-Zubayn tabia. Quite a popular tabia that can arise, for example, from the accelerated dragon and many types of like English opening and stuff like that. So it's quite a normal tabia. Tabia is Russia for typical position. That's the nerdy chess players use. So it's generally considered to be a little bit better for white, but it's quite solid. But Gawain Jones, he doesn't play it solidly. He's like a sharp player, so he's playing quite interestingly here. But he's not playing so... yeah, he's playing a bit risky here with f5. And now the interesting stuff happens here. In this position, Gawain Jones decides to sack his queen for 2 pieces and some play. That's I thought that was really interesting. It shows like he's not afraid of Magnus, but like if you play Magnus, then of course that's a good try to sack your queen and try to get some play and try to create chaos. Chaos favors the weaker players in chess, and stability favors the better players. So the computer is not... If he actually thinks it's an interesting line, it's the second best. Rook f6 was best apparently, so, because you can meet this with this one apparently. And play a position like this that is... this is... looks... Yeah, the computer thinks this is quite equal here, but of course it's more exciting to play the queen sack here. So when I was an active tournament player, I would also try to play like, you know, like Tal and like these kind of players. I will also try, how can I sacrifice something, like sacrifice a pawn, sacrifice an exchange, or the queen here. Like I used to be like silly, like used to get an interesting game. It's wasn't so good for the results, but maybe it was good because I had such an youthful optimism that, and now when I'm being like such a careful and scared player, my results has actually gone down quite a bit. So fortune often favors the youth and the bold in chess, because it just makes the opponents play worse. I think if you play like uncompromising like this, give up your queen, your opponents often defend and play worse than if they are in control. So of course b3 is hanging, so it's natural to protect it. So black only has knight and bishop, but of course the dark squared bishop, the dragon bishop, is a monster here. So the computer didn't like that one so much. It loses a tempo. Better would have been this one. Yeah, that rook is quite active here. And white should apparently sack a pawn to get to free and trade a knight. This, yeah, it's now black still has various. The reason why this is even possible for black is he just has a solid structure and all his pieces are well protected here. If it would be open position and black piece would be uncoordinated, the queen would win very easily, because it would win material for sure. So let's see what happens. So it's good for white to try to trade some pieces to get squares for the queen to work on. So that's why Magnus is trying to trade here with bishop g4. And black tries to avoid it. There is also this saying, like, if you're ahead on material, so white is 3 points ahead because the queen is worth 9 light pieces free, so then you should trade pieces because we in an endgame, like the material advantage is counting. Okay, so Magnus does quite an interesting. He doesn't retreat the bishop. Instead, he does this. Try to get his own threat. This h4 is not liked by the computer. Black's last chance was this. Then have to retreat. Okay, so this one is hanging now. And that's interesting. He can actually win back the queen here. I didn't see it. But actually the white queen is almost trapped because of... Yeah, but this is... What? Looks like there are some tactics here. Let's see. Take. No, he doesn't lose the queen. He can still keep the queen. But this was apparently an equal position now. Yeah, black won an exchange. So now black has rook and bishop for the queen here. And I guess it's equal because this structure is quite good. The knight here is good, and maybe he can activate more. So that was the best. Let's see, there was something other thing here. Let's see. Yeah, if you take here, then black can win the queen back here. But now it's white instead who is an exchange up, and apparently this is clearly better for white. Now he's 2 points up. Because, yeah, you know, bishop is 3 and rook is 5. So interesting stuff here. But let's see, after this one, the tactic doesn't work. Yeah, because now the queen can go here and it's not lost anymore. So the tactical shot that black had here, I went through it a bit slowly. Let's just watch it one more time for you again. Here, this is attacked. You have to move it, and here is logical place. And now here, and if you take, then it's this line. And white ends an exchange up, and if you would go here, then it's this move. You can't take with a rook because of the fork, so you have to take with the queen, and still you can do this and this, and you win the exchange. And yeah, now black's pieces are very active, and he has rook and bishop for the queen, so its position is even. Yeah, but now yeah, because of this, Magnus could hide his queen and g1. So here is maybe the losing move for black. Better was this if white takes. White wants to trade pieces, so it's correct to trade probably. And now white can get out his pieces here. Yeah, and it's like this is the dragon bishop, so it's probably worth to sack an exchange for it, because especially if you can get a pawn and weaken white's black structure. So apparently this, now he got two pawns, and black's attack is it's gone, because he needs a knight here for g3 to create threats. So white is just winning here. So but that was his best chance, because now he can, this bishop in Maroczy bind, this is always the white squared bishop, it's always white's bad bishop, but because it was at least on the same square as the pawn, so it's good to trade it away. So the computer likes rook e6 better than c5 here, apparently. Let's see why. Yeah, white wants to sack here and like get into the queen and attack with queen and knight and win like that. So that's white's plan. So this is a bad move also. Let's see if he did that. It's very complicated game here. So it's hard for me to commentate, because it's just so complex. We have to watch the engine here, because it's just not positional plans and like that. Okay, so he allowed bishop here to pin it. Okay, so the thing is that he can sack back his queen here and get an endgame and exchange up, which obviously is winning for white. So black tries that instead. And here he gave up. Why did he go here instead of taking here? Okay, I don't know. At least he did that. So black only has a bishop for the queen house. It's a bishop and 2 pawns. So it's just white's 4 points up. But more of a problem is that black's stuff is hanging. So if you go back here, then here. Yeah, and yeah, black's counterplay is gone, and in the long run, white will just win this. So, yeah, interesting game, and I think, yeah, we should be grateful that Jones went for this queen sack here. He didn't work out, but I think practically it was the correct decision to create chaos if you're maybe 200 points lower rated or whatever he's here. So, yeah, okay. See you next